Okay, so moving on with our fifth and final pillar, metaphysics or metaphysics and God. So the wealthy woman connects to the infinite and to God. And insert here, when I speak about God, insert whatever name it is for you, whatever God is for you. Learn how to leverage metaphysics, quantum principles, and manifestation to multiply your wealth beyond the physical limitations of what you believe. Allow it to be completely and utterly outrageous on what you are able to bring in when it comes into wealth, stepping beyond what the thoughts may have put you in these limiting belief patterns, what your body might be holding in the emotional blocks and in the nervous system contractions around the capacity of holding wealth. And here we're even moving beyond like whether you are educated and have the knowledge or not. As we step into metaphysics, we're stepping beyond that, into the beyond, into the place where we realize that things do not have to be logical. So T. Harv Eker says, when faith is blended with thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence. So really on a quantum, we're not going to go deeply here into quantum. So in quantum physics, what we're looking at is actually the realization that our atoms are made up of 99.999% empty space or energy. And we realize that life is energy in motion. So, therefore, if life is energy in motion, if I am made up mostly of energy and everything around me, even what seems completely solid, is made up of mostly energy, and energy likes to move and be in motion, and we connect to the realization that money also has its own sense to move and to be energy, as does everything, then what we start to be able to do is to create a vibration within our own being, literally within our own cells, within the atoms within the cells. We can create a vibration that aligns with a certain frequency. It's the same as tuning into a particular radio station. I can tune into a radio station that I really don't love, and I can tune into a radio station that I really enjoy. If I tune into a radio station that I don't like, it actually is working on the energy in my body. I'm receiving that frequency, which then is causing my energy to vibrate at a different pace, and it's deeply impacting my being. This is why some people love certain music, for example, and someone can listen to a song and they just feel amazing with it, and somebody else will not enjoy it. It's also why some particular music genres are linked to people being in a more down and depressive state. Because it's literally working on a cellular level within their bodies. The frequency of the music is having the energy in their cells vibrate differently. And so, therefore, what starts to happen is we land into negative thought patterns, or we start to drop down into self deprecating thoughts, or the languaging that is being used in the song starts to infiltrate and become our own languaging. Also, the same reason why, like when kids are playing particular video games, that can actually shift their mood and their energy and their happiness level and the emotions, and therefore the thoughts that they are having. See or how all of this is so deeply intertwined and connected. But when we really allow ourselves to drop into that realization of, oh, I am 99.999% empty space or energy that is responding to the world all the time, and that the world is responding to me all the time, then if I allow myself to begin to align, use my thought, my conscious thought, to decide what my intentions are around my money, allow my intention to start to work with my reticular activating system to bring my attention to what it is that I am intending, and therefore allowing my that the attention to begin to move me and to align me to the vibrational frequency of that which I'm wanting to call in. So when it comes to manifestation, most people are looking at manifestation again as being this light, fluffy, woo-woo, spiritual concept, and not as a grounded concept. Yet in actual fact, it's deeply grounded to be working with the energetic field and to be aligning ourselves with an energetic field. But we do need to start to, I believe, understand what is happening with that manifestation, understand what is happening when we set an intention, understand how to install that intention literally into your body, then how to align your reticular activating system to bring that focus and attention on, like how each of the steps is so incredibly important. Manifestation is not simply about waving a crystal around or doing a full moon drumming circle. That is not manifestation. Manifestation actually is deeply embedded in science and in the wisdom of something so much deeper and so much greater than ever really our minds can fully logically understand. So it's allowing ourselves to connect to that level that is like, my mind doesn't get, like, how on earth does this work? Then allow actually that questioning part of your mind to here be able to step to the side and instead begin to work with these deep, deep intentions to be able to shift your actual physical reality and therefore call more money forward and into your life, especially when you start to connect. If you are connecting in your metaphysics and you're also connecting to your heart and to your heart field, so what you're manifesting is not simply coming from this mind of like, I want X, but instead it's coming from the deep conscious thought choices worked with the heart and this heart-centered intention of what you're bringing in. Then life begins to rearrange. It rearranges itself specifically in order to bring you the resources that you need to create what you're here to create. So this is the Scale of Consciousness by David Hawkins. And so what this is showing us is that emotions actually have their own frequency. And if you start to see here, way down the bottom is shame at 20, and way up the top at 1,000 or 700 to 1,000 is enlightenment. You can see on the other side here that it's showing us like contracted and expanded. If we are in one of the emotions that is sitting here down in contracted, this is actually not the space to be attempting to manifest from, because you're manifesting from a place of, say, for example, I'm vibrating in fear, which happens to many of us. It's life, and life throws us into fear. If I am in fear and I'm deciding that I would like to step into manifestation or prayer practices from a place of fear, then I'm asking, say I'm in a state of prayer and I'm coming from fear, my prayer would be, God, please save me. God, please save me. God, please. And coming from, I'm a victim. I need you as the external to come and save me from this. Rather than if, for example, you were in this space of love, then it's like, oh, thank God, thank you. Thank you for everything that I have. Thank you for the deep wisdom that you are bringing into my life. Thank you so much for the wealth and abundance that I know is flowing towards me so that I can do good in the world. Can you feel the difference between that and God, please save me? Like, I don't know how to pay these bills. I'm in desperation. I need you to give me the answer. Not saying that in times of our lives that we're not in this space, but recognizing that languaging shift, recognizing that if I want to co-create with universal consciousness, if I want to co-create with the quantum field, if I am doing it from this space of fear and my body is in deep contraction, It is highly unlikely that I'm actually going to manifest, bring in what it is that I am deeply, deeply aligned to, rather than what it is that I think I need when I'm in this different vibration. One of the ways to begin to understand the scale of consciousness without it being a shaming of making it wrong to be, it can be easy to look at this, and I've seen people do it and it disappoints me, to be, oh, well, you're down here in, fear, grief, guilt, and shame. You're not going to manifest anything, but I'm vibrating, my vibrational frequency is up here. I'm able to manifest because I'm here. And look, I'm playing that out a lot just to give you the sense of it. Um, this is quite disappointing. And one of the ways to look at this and therefore not come into really doing that is shaming somebody else. So thinking that you're up here and shaming someone else is actually not vibrating up here at all. So one of the ways I like to look at this is if I lived in, oh, I do, in a 50-story building, do live in a 50-story building. If I, in this building that I'm living in, was in the basement, if my apartment was in the basement and the door opened to where all the garbage is, like we have garbage chutes here for the whole building. If I lived right there at that level of the basement and I didn't know that there were other levels, right? All I can see is here. I can't see the levels above me. I don't even know they exist, completely oblivious to them. I am probably going to have a different experience of my life every day when I wake up to somebody who is here on the 50th floor, who just sees, like, you can see 360 degrees for the people who are on the 50th floor here. So their view of life and of this building is going to be very different to the person who's on the basement level. What we tend to do is we have this story that, like, oh, the person in the penthouse is so much better than the person who's down here in the basement level. What we need to do instead is to start to understand and realize, if I have the privilege of being on the 50th floor and I can see everything, I can see the blue sky, and I have these amazing views and a big expansive outlook, I need to start to be able to have the self-awareness to realize that the person who is down here is having a different life experience. So if I start trying to make them wrong, I meet them outside the building. They don't know I live on the 50th floor. I meet them outside, which I don't, by the way, but anyway, I meet them outside and I say to them, oh, what an amazing building this is to live in. Isn't life amazing? And they say, this is a horrible building to live in. I absolutely hate it, and life is shit. I have two choices. Please understand that I'm using this just as an analogy, a metaphor, right? I have two different choices. I can say to them, oh, tell me more about your experience. And they can tell me about their experience, and I can begin to be able to empathize with it. Or I can say, you're an idiot. You don't know anything that you're talking about. This is an amazing building. That's what I see happen so much out in, I guess, the more spiritual worlds and spiritual communities, is people looking down upon anyone who's in a current life experience of a lower vibration. Oh, I'm high vibe. Are you high vibe? I'm vibrating higher. What this does is actually pushes the person into a deeper and deeper space. Instead, what we're able to do is see that someone is in this place and support them and lift them up and support them and lift them up. And so when you're in these spaces of feeling higher vibration, who else can you support in encouraging them, not by telling them that everything's different than what they think it is, but instead by saying, like, tell me more. It's back to like the why in the last video, like, why that, why this? Tell me more about your experience. Tell me more about how you got here. And actually that can change somebody's life completely. So I've kind of gone on a tangent a little bit here, away necessarily from wealth, but what this helps you to begin to do for yourself also is recognize, where am I at when I'm in my, I teach a money, muscle testing tool within my programs for this. where we're able to actually muscle test, like, where am I currently sitting? But you can probably feel it anyway, just by allowing yourself to feel into your body. And do I feel contracted in my body? If you do, you could be somewhere down here. Do I feel expanded? And the reason to know this is then when you step into doing a manifestation practice or a prayer practice, if you feel like you're currently down here somewhere, and this is not permanent, right? Like, you're currently down here somewhere, then what can you do in order to raise yourself up a little bit? Perhaps a gratitude practice. And gratitude practices I have like a love-hate relationship with. I'm not a super fan of just like, I'm just grateful for like my earrings, and I'm grateful for the camera, and I'm grateful for, I just have to write my gratitude list because they said to write it every day. But I am a big fan of using your gratitude list to feel into and to really feel the things that you are grateful for, because that will automatically shift where you are, like where your frequency is, and therefore what you become an energetic match for. And when you can get yourself into whatever the highest place is that for you in this moment, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're in shame, if you can get yourself up to apathy, fantastic. You've given yourself like a 30-point shift, right? When you're in the space that feels like you're as high as you're able to get in this moment, that's when you would go into your prayer practice or into your manifestation practice, rather than from the, oh my God, please save me. Just see, can I shift a little? Can I shift just a little? Can I shift my languaging just a little bit so that I start to therefore shift what it is that I'm starting to manifest and call in? So we've talked about then like what we're able to actually do, like with our intention, we're able to shift our reticular activating system that therefore changes our attention. We're able to start to rewire our brain. We're able to start to come into the thought of what it is that we are wanting to call in our life. But when we really connect that into the heart, that's when everything changes. If you look up heart math, the science around heart math is fascinating, and the vibrational field that our heart has actually is greater than that of the brain, than that of the mind. And so if you can begin to work with the heart and start to work with that field and align it with your mind, with your brain, then you step into cohesion. And when we're in a state of cohesion, we're vibrating at a cohesive space instead of my brain is over here and all of my thoughts and it's vibrating like this and it's crazy, and my heart is down here like feeling heartbroken and it's got a different vibration and nothing's kind of aligned, and I'm trying to manifest or call in or pray for what I want and I'm wondering why I'm not getting it. If we can start to bring these two into alignment so they begin to be in cohesion, then the message that we're sending out is a cohesive message. Therefore, what we receive is much closer to what it is that we were working with the field with. So, the observer effect from quantum physics shows that reality is shaped by the attention and intention of the observer. So that's what I've been talking about, is by getting very clear on your intention, knowing how to install that intention so that it works with your reticular activating system to align your attention, which therefore also shifts your thoughts. And as we know, when we shift our thoughts, that changes our emotional experience, which changes the actions that we take, which completely changes the results that we have anyway. But then also, if we're starting to look at this observer effect in the quantum field, we can quite literally impact the field around us by having a very clear intention and attention for what it is that we're calling in. So instead of just saying, I want more money, can you get super laser focused clear on what's the amount of money? What's that money for? What's the big why? Can I raise my frequency? Can I get into my heart and step into cohesion? And then can I manifest from that space? And so that same thing comes with all levels of prayer. Whomever it is that you pray to, whomever your prayer practice is to, is we're collaborating. You're co-creating and collaborating with God. If you are co-collaborating and collaborating with God, you're in a deep relationship with God. You have deep respect for God. How would you honestly come to the feet of God to pray for what it is that you wish to shift and to change in your life? Would you come in the space of, I want, I want, I want, I want, coming from the more childlike aspect of self, the demanding aspect of self? Or would you come with this co-creation space of, thank you for everything that I have in my life. Thank you for all the greatness and the wisdom and the gifts that you bestow upon me. Together, like I wish, I pray, I thank you for the wealth and abundance that's coming my way of X amount of money that has this amount of purpose for this reason. I'm deeply in my heart, and it's for something greater, a purpose beyond self. That's when realities shift and change at rapid pace. When we allow ourselves to co-create with the infinite, co-create with God, co-create with life itself, co-create with the field itself. Oh, there we go. I don't have a solutions one in here, but let's stop sharing. But I think it's obvious. The solutions here are to get clear intentions, focus your attention, start to move yourself up the scale of consciousness as best as you can, and co-create and collaborate with God, universal consciousness, God consciousness, all that is, the quantum field, the void, whatever it is for you, whatever the languaging is for you. Depending on when you are watching this video, if you're watching it and I've only just created it, the resource I'm about to suggest might not be underneath, but you'll receive an email when it is. If you're watching this in a little bit of the future, you'll see that there is also a link below to an entire meditation series around really supporting you into this process of true manifestation and everything that I've just shared throughout this fifth pillar that a lot of you are scoring quite low in. So it seems like it's perhaps a missing piece for many of you. I hope that this has been helpful and supportive. Obviously, this is the end of the 5 pillars. I would love if you check out the what's next, because I have some epic resources for you to be able to now take this from not being just the course that you listened to one time, but being the course that you implemented. Like I talked about in the last pillar, implementation is key. We can listen to courses all we like, but if you don't implement it, nothing is going to change. And unfortunately, so many people just listen and don't implement. It's a self-sabotage technique. It allows us to stay small. It allows us to stay trapped so that we can keep this self-fulfilling prophecy of saying, see, it doesn't work for me. I did the programs and it doesn't work for me. Don't just listen to the programs, this and others. Now put it into implementation. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the ways that I can support you with implementation. I hope this has been helpful for you. I love nothing more. My love language is words. So if you have anything to share with me, I would love to hear from you. You'll also find links below about how you can email me or contact me on socials. I would love to hear if this has hit any, like all of this entire training, if it has landed for you, if it has hit any particular pieces for you, if you've had any aha moments, or if you're noticing any shifts. I would love to hear them. That is literally the most beautiful way that you could return the energy to me for my energy that I've given to you is through words. It's my love, love, love language. So I hope to hear from you. But most of all, I really genuinely hope that the quiz and these video trainings have deeply supported you in being able to open your eyes to some new wisdom. And I hope to see you in some of the other trainings too.